Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Sanctum. My name is Jesse, and I'm the writer, director, and narrator for the Lost Codex episodes. And it's been a little while. How you guys doing? I know, it's been, when was the last time? Probably the Derek Proudmore analysis. It's been a little while. Anyway, let's get right to it. A new cinematic came out today, and I haven't seen it. I know what it's about, in that I know Thrall's in it. That's all I know. Spoilers, if you haven't. Why are you watching this if you haven't seen it yet? I don't know what happens in it. It's been up for maybe about an hour and a half, and I've avoided that while I've been setting up here. So we're going to dive in. I'm going to watch it, and then I'm going to come back and we're going to talk about it. Because I have some questions, and I haven't even seen it yet. So here we go. We're gonna watch Safe Haven right now, live, together, you and me. 3, 2, 1. To Westfall. It's not Westfall. I know that music. I know that music. Cool. HD Nagrant. There you are. What have you been up to?
So, this is home now.
Home. Family.
And where are they?
Not far.
This world. Oh, it looks good. But it's wrong. Broken. Falling apart. Just like the Horde.
Got him.
Do you know what she's done while you've been hiding?
Oh.
I left that life behind. I'm no one's savior. I will not lead the Horde.
I didn't ask. But I hoped you would at least fight for it.
You were followed!
I followed them. You and I, we don't get to hide.
Okay. I will be right back. With the magic of movie editing, we are back in no time at all, even though it's been like a good hour of me writing notes and rewatching this a million times. And oh my goodness, this is amazing. In case you didn't see, I am wearing my Horde sweater right here. I am ready to go, because there's a lot to talk about here in this 4-minute and 12 long awesome cinematic. I do really enjoy how Saurfang's story has been given so much spotlight in Battle for Azeroth, with Old Soldier and Lost Honor and now this, and how we see elements of that in game. Even just his presence, we first saw Saurfang in the Battle for Azeroth trailer when they announced it at BlizzCon, and I really hope we get an Alliance cinematic in some way. I know some Alliance fans are a little bit upset that the focus is so much on the Horde, but I feel that with all the investment that we've had with Anduin setting Saurfang free and Saurfang's reflection, seeing Teldrassil in horrifying HD burning, I'm really, really excited that they've gone this route. And knowing Thrall comes back in 8.2, my question is, where's the connecting piece? Where was Thrall, and where's the encounter with Saurfang with him? And here we are. And boy, is it one hell of an encounter. Let's start things off here with... It's a very casual shot. It's a very, very simple, very peaceful shot. I made the joke that it's Westfall. I knew it wasn't Westfall. Thrall's not hiding in Westfall. I knew that. But I think what's important to remember here is... Let me grab my notes. My notes are everywhere. So I think it's important to remember that this is the world that Saurfang grew up in, right? This is home. Now, maybe not Nagrand, right? He grew up in Gorgrond, which no longer exists in Outland. Kind of. But he knows Nagrand. That's where the Orcish festival, where all the clans, Blackrock showed up, Saurfang's clan, and met with everyone else. Frostwolves migrated in the harshest winters down to Nagrand, and Grom was like, this is my land, but you guys can come hang out. And this, for him, he's returning home. And home is a big home, family. It's a big theme in this video. And the last time Saurfang was here, he was burying his son, as we saw in Old Soldier. After Draenor was killed as a Death Knight, Saurfang returned him to Nagrand, where Saurfang's mate is buried, Draenosh's mother. And as far as we know, he was there for a good part of Garrosh's reign, probably, and then Saurfang shows up for the Garrosh Rebellion. So it's probably been a while since Saurfang's been here, and this is kind of a little throwback. And it looks like it's doing well. We'll come to that. I love the shot of Nagrand panning over as Saurfang walks towards this little village where Thrall's hanging out. And there we see the iconic islands of Nagrand. We see the big Draenei ship in the background, the Genadar. The orcs call it Oshagun, and we can see different parts of Oshagun kind of scattered around. There should be ethereals there, but maybe Thrall told him to get out. I would love if this was in a 4K. I would put this as my desktop background. This is really cool. To see Nagrand. Perfect. Let's move on. Here is Thrall. Thrall with his blue beads. No, he's no longer part of the Horde. Faction change. No, Frostwolf Blue. Frostwolf Blue and Silver. There was a leak of this cinematic yesterday. Not a leak, but still image leaks. And a lot of people were commenting, is that green Durotan? And I absolutely love how much Thrall looks like his dad here from the movie. Daddy Durotan from the Warcraft movie. What's missing on his model here, and it's in-game, is the necklace that Durotan... that old Papa Durotan has in the movie, the big tooth necklace. While it's not game canon, Thrall has that necklace on his in-game model that matches this in the game, so it's probably just hanging up inside the house. But I love just the throwback of how Thrall is no longer war chief, Thrall is no longer shaman, world shaman. This is a whole new identity for him, and I love his new model. Good God. And yes, I did say Daddy Durotan. So, right away, before we talk about them talking, just pointed out that it looks like that they're building on an old ruin here, like an old Orcish settlement. We've got, obviously, the newer buildings and the traditional Thrall kind of miss the Hordes. We put a lot of spikes everywhere. But there's a lot of, like, if you look in the background of a lot of the shots, you see some old broken down buildings that of someone else who used to live here. Probably Warsong in some way. But it's clear that, for a second I thought, oh, is that Garadar? And I'm like, no, it's way too close to Garadar. So it's close to Garadar, potentially quite near, because, that's a lot of wheat for one small family to have. I know he's got a couple kids, but good God, that's a lot of bread. And they're probably near his grandmother, Thrall's grandmother. Is she still alive? Can someone answer that? Someone at Blizzard, if you're watching. She's old. Holy crap, her and Drekthar are ancient. Great Mother Gaia. But yeah, I found it interesting that Thrall's totally just living on his own with his wife and kids, wherever they are. And
This is home now.
Home. Family.
And what I found to be really interesting here was that this is a home that Thrall never knew. Thrall wasn't even born in Outland and Draenor. And he came to Outland for the first time back in BC. It's where he met Garrosh and he met his grandmother. And he came to fall in love with Outland when he did his shaman trials with Agra during the Shattering. And that's when he met her, and they didn't get along at first, and then we know what happens after that. And they're just the elements of home here. Thrall never knew this as home, and yet he's calling it home. And Saurfang called this home. Saurfang, he's at least 60 right now, and the Orcish invasion happened 30 years ago, so he knew it for the good first half of his life. And just two elements of home and family. Thrall's family, and Saurfang's coming to beseech him on his family. Oh, We're good. I fixed it.
And where are they?
Not far.
Look how kind of tense Thrall is. Thrall's very standoffish right now. He's very not having anything to do with Saurfang. Like, home, family, not far. Like Thrall loses ability to speak. He's very, and rightfully so, he's cautious, right? So it's been a while since he's seen, and distrusts Saurfang, but Saurfang's here for a reason, right? Why are you here? Why did you come to another world to talk about my farm? And so Thrall's a little bit like, I'm going to be very short with you. And Saurfang doesn't push. Saurfang just casually moves on to the next topic, like it's no big deal whatsoever.
This world. It looks good. But it's wrong. Broken. Falling apart.
It looks good. So, we know that Draenor is falling apart. Blizzard has said it multiple times. It's referenced in different medias here and there. That Draenor, because of, big man Ner'zhul with all the million of portals he opened with the Warlock artifact weapon, Draenor is very unstable. And the skies look good. That looks like a regular world, but other parts of Outland are probably not doing too hot right now. I imagine Netherstorm's just gone, except for the Naru ships. I imagine that Shadowmoon Valley is just overrun with fell creatures and horrifying things. Like, it's not a healthy world whatsoever. But Nagrand, for some reason, due to the elemental presence and everything there, Nagrand's doing pretty well. to the point where Thrall can sustain himself, despite the fact that the rest of the planet is probably crumbling into the twisting nether. But then Saurfang points out it's wrong. It's broken. It's falling apart. And there's a duality here. We're showing, it's doing well. That's a lot of wheat. That's a lot of bread. Panning up, and then you see the broken isles floating in the sky, and that's not natural. Floating islands is not a natural thing, and that's chaotically and elementally wrong with that world. That's because of the weird energies going around Outland there, and it's kind of an interesting duality here, where between the Horde that's surviving and the Horde that's falling apart, we have the Horde like Bane and Saurfang, the healthy parts of the Horde. And then you've got the fracturing, unnatural parts of the Horde that are crumbling into the sky, or in the case of the comparison here to Sylvanas and everything that she's been doing. And I get it. There's Sylvanas fans out there, and she's the war chief right now. But you can't argue about Thrall's Horde and say that what she's doing is good for the Horde. And even Saurfang knows it. Saurfang has committed a million atrocities on his own. And he's like, this is wrong. And he gets right to that. Like, the duality here, it's very casual. Like, this is a good world, but it's falling apart like the Horde. Like, he wastes no time in absolutely just getting right to it. And this is one of my favorite lines that's coming up right here.
Just like the Horde.
Right here. Look at the expression he has before he looks at Thrall. He's looking down. Like, he is... This dude's traumatized.
Do you know what she's done while you've been hiding?
Whew. Okay. There it is. The mic drop. This is when Saurfang's glasses come down and then all the air horns play. This has been a long time coming. And he struggles to say it. He repeats himself. He says, Do you know what she's done while you've been hiding? Instantly, I thought of Garrosh calling Thrall out on his bullshit back in Siege of Orgrimmar. I won't let my people starve to death in the desert. It was very accusatory. You let warlocks practice their dark magic. Like, this is... Saurfang's throwing it right back in his face. And his voice, like, doesn't shake, but, like, he repeats himself. Just listen.
Do you know what she's done while you've been hiding?
Do you know? That second "do you know" is so accusatory, and Thrall, Thrall has like a little bit of a stoicness on his face. He's determined. He knows that what he's doing with his family, that he is meant to be here with his family, but Saurfang's calling him out on it. And Jaina did the same thing before Garrosh marched on Theramore. Jaina went to Thrall and said, "Hey, things are happening," and he's like, "No, I gotta stay here." And look what happened. So, this is the second time that Saurfang has done that. Thrall has been approached by an outside force when he's been missing from the Horde. And I kind of wonder if that's going through his head, like, crap, I've been here before. Jane has done the same thing. And he stood way too idle for too long. Looks at the necklace. Saurfang's music plays. I'm no one's savior. Now, everyone makes the joke, Green Jesus, right? He saves the Horde, but it's not wrong. Like, Thrall saved the Horde many times, right? Thrall saved the world from the Cataclysm and Deathwing, and then he screwed out for a while, and then he came back and he helped put the Horde back together after Garrosh did everything. The one who killed Garrosh and Nagran, he participated in that war. You can't, as much, you might not like Thrall. Like, I like Thrall as a character. I don't agree with everything he's done, especially recently. Like, where have you been, buddy? But you can't deny that Thrall has saved the Horde. And the Horde that's at risk right now is the Horde he built. The Horde, as a concept, is a horrible monstrosity, right? The first Horde that came to Azeroth pillaged everything. It was awful. Everyone kind of praises Doomhammer, but Doomhammer sacked Stormwind, and like thousands of innocents died there. So, the original Horde wasn't a good thing. Thrall made it a good thing. Human politics taught him, all right, let's not be assholes. But that Horde is at risk. Saurfang, who has seen every possible horde, knows that's the best horde. Bane is like, you know, we're torn by our racial is not to be an asshole. And that's what's at risk here. And as much as, you know, you might call Thrall Green Jesus, he has saved a lot of the world, and now what he built, his original horde, that's at risk. But that's no longer his horde right now. Sylvanas' horde is something totally different.
I will not lead the Horde.
Look how stoic and determined Thrall is with that comment. You know, he's already been asked to come back once. Vol'jin said, hey, you should lead. And he's like, nope. This is the second time Thrall has turned down the his returning to service as war chief. Second time. Only first time Vol'jin offered it to him. And one of Saurfang's best lines right here.
I didn't ask.
And Thrall's stoicness, his determination, just crumbles right away. He's like, fuck.
Hoped you would at least fight for it.
Can we just point out the fact that the sass in Saurfang's eyes?
The Horde.
I didn't ask. But I hoped you would at least fight for it.
Ooh, great one-liner. Great one-liner there. Thrall doesn't like that, so Thrall stalks away, and then we see something ominous. Bushes. So this attack I thought was really cool to see some action here. I wasn't expecting any action. I was expecting this to be just two old orcs yelling at each other, right? Saurfang's not that old. Thrall's not that old. But the fact that we see the ambush, that's really cool. The first rogue pops way too many cooldowns so fast. You heard that one running from like 10 feet away. And it's really cool. What I like is that rogue stealth is literally invisibility. A lot of people kind of on the story forums and the roleplay forums have debated for years whether rogues can actually turn invisible or not. Whether it's more of like an Assassin's Creed, you slip into the crowd kind of thing, or if you actually turn invisible. Night Elves have always had that ability, but it's been a big debate. Well, no, and I like how the sound effects, the stealth sound effects, plays. And Thrall sees the roof move, which I thought was really cool to show that, you know, this Forsaken maybe lost its balance or something. Both lady Forsakens, and they're Deathstalkers. I thought for a quick moment, I'm like, Dark Rangers? No, if they were Rangers, they would clearly have bows. They're not Dark Rangers, but you'll also notice, I'm not going to go frame by frame, but there's not a lot of bone showing. There's bones on their toes and their bones on their fingers, but like their joints, all flesh. So Blizzard, let's go with that customization, please. That'd be cool. I wouldn't mind that. That'd be dope. Now, right here, Saurfang knows something's up, and we find out after why he knows that. So he's ready. Thrall grabs a shovel from the forge, throws ash, which I thought was a really cool way to expose this rogue's stealth. Disarms Thrall. And I thought this was really cool. Saurfang has no weapon right now. Pretty sure he had a weapon in the swamp, just a regular axe. But Saurfang proves to all you people who hide your bracer transmog, that saved his life. Look at this. He is being hit 1, 2, 3 on the wrist. And you guys saw that the poison clouds from the daggers. She is definitely assassination spec, because poison don't exist anywhere else. And he is just parrying. And then he gets a one-hit execute. She's out. Now, right here, you know, obviously Thrall doesn't have a weapon, so he's playing the defensive game, dodging and grabs both of her weapons. But this shot right here, I noticed the lich light in her eyes, which is going to come up in a second. She gets really close and evades, vanishes, and then Saurfang, I didn't even see how fast this happened the first time. Saurfang gets one hell of an execute. So good. All right. So this scene right here. Notice the light's gone. Obviously, the lich light is gone. Apparently, you can snap the necks of Forsaken. I always thought, like, as a zombie, you know, maybe a Forsaken could lose their head and Forsaken can literally be pulled into pieces and still be okay. So I guess if you snap the neck of Forsaken, that is the proper way to kill it. And so there's a little, and maybe this is a stretch, but I thought this is what first came to mind when I saw this. Saurfang pulls down the face mask. Now, aside from clearly being dead and, the sign, the veins and the horrible gash on her eyes and her, the purpleness of her lids, the first thing I thought of was the shattered mask icon for the Forsaken. Now, notice that half the face is shown right here. The other half, you can kind of see the other half, but it's very much, in the shadow of her hood and not really focused. The main focus is half the face, which the shattered mask icon is literally half of a face. You've got the purple ichor dripping down from the shattered mask icon. We've always had Sylvanas with the markings, and in Battle for Azeroth, we learned that it's her tears that have burned into her face. But in the shattered mask icon, it clearly looks like liquid dripping down. Versus in comparison to the veins and the purple gash here. And whether it's supposed to be an intention of looking like the shattered mask, not ash, mask icon, or the gash on her eye is just supposed to be symbolic of Sylvanas' symbols on her eye. Sylvanas' tears burned into her face when she was ripped out of her body as a banshee. So maybe her Deathstalkers, it almost looks like a self-inflicted wound. Maybe they carve something underneath their eyes as a symbolic gesture or loyalty to their Banshee Queen. Whether it's supposed to be the Shattered Mask or just a direct similarity to Sylvanas, there's a lot of focus on the eye and the bloodiness and the purple and the grossness of this scene. And obviously the only thing missing from this in the Shattered Mask is the lich light, the glowing glow of a Forsaken, of their eyes, and she's dead, permanent dead, so that's obviously gone. But that really stood out to me when I watched that, and now they're like a faded gristly gray or blue, and clearly to show that she is gone. And I didn't even notice I noticed the looming eyes, but I didn't notice the eye color change until my third watch through. Someone else pointed it out, and I thought that was really cool. So whether that's intentional or just to show like a similarity between Sylvanas, I thought that was really, really cool.
You were followed.
Thrall's very upset. Saurfang's very calm the whole time. He's very calm, very sassy, but very calm.
I followed them.
And Thrall slowly realizes, crap.
You and we don't get to hide.
I love that line. Probably my favorite line, aside from I didn't ask, in the whole cinematic, because this whole attack has been a proven point for Saurfang. Do you know what she's done while you've been hiding? Very accusatory. This happens. He go, I am savior no longer. This happens, and then Saurfang says, we don't get to hide. As if to say, like, we can't hide because there's a lot of people who need us, but like, you're at risk now. This is happening. My point is proven. Checkmate. Pack your bags, son. And Thrall comes to terms with it. Thrall realizes, crap, I gotta do this again? And he doesn't want to. Like, there's no excitement in his face. He's wincing, and he's like, you dick. I was happy here. He has his Mr. Pandaria farm all set up. He's comfortable. Now, at first I was like, why is your weapon hiding, right? Then I realized it's, symbolic of the old farmer has his old military rifle kind of in the locked in the back shed, or an old soldier has his sword hung up and hiding in the back of his closet, because that's an old life. He doesn't have that anymore. And he doesn't need this weapon. Now, this is the new weapon, but he doesn't need this weapon here. Aside from Nagran having, like, massive herds of cleft hoof. No, they're all gone. Hemet Nestwinger killed them all. But aside from there being some danger in Nagrand, Thrall is comfortable. Him, Agra, the kids. He's not at risk. It might be like some predators of some kind, but he doesn't have any reason to have a weapon. So he has it hiding. It's out of sight. Until now. Until now, he's had no use for that weapon. This attack proves that that is no longer the case. And Thrall does an epic pose. He is back. Really cool axe. That axe is in-game, by the way. That custom special weapon just for Thrall. I really wonder if there's a backstory to it. If there is, I'm unaware. I didn't see it, the axe data mine on any of the Wowhead or post or anything like that, but I did see that it's specifically the file names is associated with Thrall, and I've seen it in several videos. So obviously he has no Doomhammer anymore, so he's lost his hammer and picks up an axe. We've seen that before. And again, just very much channeling Durotan here with the Frostwolf blue colors, and you know, there's no Horde elements like in terms of coloration here. That's all Saurfang. Saurfang is wearing all the red and the browns, and here's Thrall sporting the good old Frostwolf colors. And this is the cinematic that I was looking for to connect. Okay, Thrall's coming back with some quest lines that I won't talk about in 8.2. Where is that shown? And I'm so glad we got to see it in full HD form here. Some things I didn't really get to talk about, but I'll point out very quickly. Sylvanas has sent her assassins across a world, from one world to another, to take out Thrall and his family. Presumably his family. Why leave them alive? I mean, you know, extra collateral damage. And before someone says Sylvanas would only take out Thrall, wouldn't kill anyone innocent, come on, of course she would. Bonus points for her, right? And Saurfang says that I followed them. Now, question someone might be asking is how did he get there? And I've been wondering that. Did the portal, after the portal from Draenor closed, did it just automatically just reconnect to Outland? He was in the swamp, so he was near, you know, the dark portal, but that led to Outland, Draenor, like alternate Draenor, but that's gone, so probably leads, so he probably went to Hellfire. Would make more sense if he went to Shatrath, because that would make his journey a hell of a lot safer. But it's Saurfang, right? So, you know, he can do whatever. For the record, going through Zangamarsh, if anyone's read the Illidan book, Zangamarsh is probably one of the most dangerous places in World of Warcraft. Just by breathing the air in Zangamarsh, you probably die from the spores that infest your body and then rip you from the inside out. Some of Maev's wardens died horrible deaths just by being in the swamp. So Saurfang had a hell of a journey to get there. And it's interesting because Sylvanas, he says he followed the assassins. So these assassins, what, were they just kind of out parading, you know, no stealth until they got close? And I don't think so. I think there may have been a little game he's been playing. I think Sylvanas may have known Saurfang was going to Thrall, so there was almost like they were following each other. Saurfang does say, I followed them. But I want to say that I don't think Saurfang followed them directly to Thrall's village. I think he followed them like into the area, and generally into the area. He wasn't following them when he was approaching, right? And the assassins clearly waited. They were scouting. They were waiting for a perfect opportunity. Saurfang approaches seemingly totally unaware. Perfect time to drop an ambush. Saurfang's aware that they're there, and as a counter ambush, just to prove his point. A little bit of a dangerous game because Thrall could have died, but he says he followed them there. So I don't think he literally followed footsteps of the assassins to Thrall's safe haven, but I do think that Saurfang walked into that village knowing that they were right there. And you might think, like, shouldn't you go check on Agra and the kids? Like, what are those other assassins? I'm pretty sure Saurfang, following these assassins all through Outland, there was probably only 2 of them. If he was trailing them for a good long distance, he likely knew how many there were. If there were more than 2, he probably tells Thrall to stop posing, stop looking like a hero and your wife's in danger kind of thing. But I'm going to assume that Saurfang knew that there was only 1 or 2 assassins. And if there was, he told them off screen. So I don't think Agra's dead. She's off doing whatever with the kids, killing cleft hoofs for Nessingwary. But yeah, that was awesome. Good God, I'm really excited to see what happens if we get a cinematic for 8.2.5. Where that storyline goes, or even 8.3. I would like an alliance, the alliance to come in some way. I'd love to see a cinematic like this with Thrall and Jaina and Anduin in some way, and maybe who knows? Maybe after Sylvanas is chased out of the Horde, a lot of people say they want to see the alliance become the villains. So what if there's a cinematic after Sylvanas is kind of removed from power? There's a cinematic with Saurfang and Jaina and Anduin and maybe Tyrande, and Tyrande shows up and says, no, this war's not over. Like, that tree still burned. There are still dead Night Elf children because of this. And I would love to see Tyrande and Gen and Jaina show up in a cinematic to show that this war is far from over. Because this expansion started off heavy to just everyone be friends at the end of the expansion. No, we're good. Let's just ignore what happened at Teldrassil. So I'm really curious to see where they go with this. I love that the fact that they're doing this outside of the game storytelling with these stupidly detailed cinematics. The cinematics team has just been kicking ass. They've always kicked ass, but specifically for Battle for Azeroth, they've never done anything like this where they do episodic installments of the story, and that is cool. Set the bar high for the next expansion, because that would be cool if they did this for every expansion. I don't know if it's possible, but really cool. Anyways, I ran long enough on this. If you guys, what do you guys think of the video? Let me know. Are you pro Thrall? Are you now happy Thrall's back, looking like Daddy Durotan? Or are you Sylvanas all the way? You have a blood oath to fulfill to your war chief. You gotta. I mean, all of the Horde players, myself included, we've all broken our blood oath. We had an oath to Garrosh. We broke it for that troll guy. So all of you Horde pro-Sylvanas people are saying you have an oath to fulfill. Well, you already broke your oath once, so break it a second time, or keep it and join Sylvanas and probably die at the end of the expansion. Either way, let me know what you guys think, and we will see you guys very soon. Working on a Lost Codex video right now, and we are into the animation stage, so stay tuned for a really good. Not what you guys are expecting for the next video. It's not trolls. It's not Loa. That's all I'll say. All right. Thank you guys, and we'll see you next time.